Hi, art teacher here with you again, and this is part 3 of the perspective, 2-point perspective series of drawings. And this one is going to be about stairs. And you see I have my example here. Now remember, do your likes and your comments and subscribing and all the regular YouTube stuff and all of that. And anyway, let me get right on to this, okay? You should know already by watching parts 1 and part 2 what the vanishing points are. Okay, so that's already should be established. I'm not going to go over that a lot. So please watch parts 1 and 2 if you haven't seen them yet. They're pretty good. Now, let me start off with my vanishing points. Go ahead, get your paper, your ruler, your pencil, get that all out in front of you. How about 2 pencils and make sure they're good and sharp, okay? Ready to roll. Start by making your 2 vanishing points. 1, 2. Then, instead of a center line, you know we've been making the center line whenever we've done a house or something. I'm going to do what I call a segmented center line, and there are 3 parts of it. Now, let me stop briefly right now and say there are really 2 ways to approach this. I guess the technical names would be linear perspective, which would be more precise, maybe what architects would use, or empirical perspective, meaning a little more loosey-goosey, and that's kind of where we're going with it. But I will make a brief video going more onto linear perspective with these, giving a few more in-depth measurement techniques. So for now, I'm not really going super in-depth on measurement. A lot more will be intuitive with where I place my center lines. So, hope that made sense. If not, keep an eye open for the other video I'm going to do as an addendum to this one, which will show a more precise way. But for now, this will be the bottom center line. That's going to be this one right here, which is the center line, or the corner closest to you, of the bottom step. So that's what I just drew here. You see all my verticals are black on this paper. So go ahead and do that. Then connect the top and bottom back to this vanishing point. Only one of the vanishing points for now. So it's just, that's what these red lines are. These red lines are going to this vanishing point. So I have my vertical, which is the corner of the bottom step that's closest to you. And I have my guidelines going back here. And the guideline is going to help me to know where to put the center line of the second step. So I just randomly chose a place along here. There's a way to more precisely measure this, but I'll show that in an addendum. Right now, we're doing it in what they would call empirical perspective, which is more just based on estimate and observation. So anyway, I went in a little bit, and I did a vertical line here. And that's going to be the center line of the second step, and I'm going to connect that back to the vanishing point also, and that's what this red line here is. So that's what I just did there. Then I'm going to go in a little bit, but not quite as far for the top step. So these are 3 stair steps. In Baltimore, they have an area, I think, what's it called, Fells Point? They have beautiful marble steps on all of these row houses. Just very cool looking. They're very old. Anyway, I have a bottom, and that's what that's kind of the type of steps I'm doing here. Anyway, I have this bottom step, center line. Second step, center line. And top step, center line. And again, just like the others, bring the top back to the vanishing point. And that's what this line is here. So, then I'm going to do the end line of the stairs. Later on, that'll be important when we connect the stairs to the house. So, you can already see how that's starting to look like stair steps. Next thing I want to do, I'll put a little circle, and you can pause this video, especially with these perspective ones. Pause the video now and then in order to really see what I'm doing here and thinking about it. You can even review it and go back. That's what's great about YouTube. Anyway, I circled all these corners, and I'm going to bring all these corners back to the vanishing point I've made blue up here. So that's going to be several lines, and I'll get out of the way a little bit. Going back to the vanishing point, and I always say it like that so everybody remembers. The vanishing point. The vanishing points are super important on any sort of perspective drawing. 1 point, 2 point, or 3 point perspective. You're always going to want to keep in mind where they are, and you'll be putting your ruler on that vanishing point quite a lot. Now, again, be sure, if you watch part 1 and 2, it's going to help a lot, because you'll have a better sense of what I'm doing. And I gave a lot of tips during those 2 videos that you can apply for this one. For instance, when I go to make one of these lines, I put my pencil down on the dot, bring the ruler up to that pencil tip, and then line it up, and then make the line. I went over that before too. So anyway, I connected all of those corners, the inside corners and the outside corners, back to that vanishing point there. And that's the blue one up here. So you'll notice here I made the lines blue if they go to this vanishing point, and red if they go to this one. That can help you to avoid any sort of confusion. Also, up here I have 2 very good principles. If your lines either need to be vertical or they need to be vanishing point lines. There's no other kind of lines. Now, I'm going to draw the other end line of the stairs. So you see how this one here is vertical, so it means the one that matches it is vertical. So the bottom one is vertical, the one that matches it is vertical. Just like this. This bottom black line is vertical, the one that matches it, which is also a black line, is vertical. Now you can probably guess the next one, this vanishing point line, which is red, has another vanishing point line going to the same vanishing point. So I find the tippy top of this line, the end line to the bottom step, and I connect it to the vanishing point, the one that's red over there on that drawing. And that's how I derive this little line here. I got that line by connecting the top of this end line back to the vanishing point. That's how I get it. And then where these 2 crisscross, look for the crisscross right there, where this line crisscrosses the vanishing point line. Go straight up, and make sure it's a vertical line. You're going to go straight up from there. See? So I have this one, which is black here, and I just drew the one that matches it here. That's the end line of the second step. And then the same procedure. Go from the top of that line back to the vanishing point. Look for the crisscross right there. When they crisscross, that's right there. Go straight up. Right? I went straight up from that crisscross. And now I have the end line of the top step. See? All those end lines are the black ones, which are verticals. Then, to make the platform on the top of the stairs, go back to the vanishing point. Just connect the top of that line back to the vanishing point. And then, just to clarify my drawing a little bit, I'll go ahead and put some hatching lines on the tops of the steps and the top platform here. Should be able to clearly see now how that comes together as one of those stairs which are made of marble in the city of Baltimore. You can even Google Baltimore marble stairs. You'll see what I'm talking about. I'm not just making that up. Anyway, the important thing to remember as you look at your drawing, and if you see something doesn't look quite right, ask yourself, are all my lines vertical, and do they all go to a vanishing point? And if you answer yes to those 2 and it still looks wrong, take a look at this and make sure, see how I'm using red and blue here? Make sure the red lines, the ones that are red here, all go back to this vanishing point, which is red, and the blue lines all go back to this vanishing point, which is blue. And then, of course, your vertical lines are all black. Hey, hope that helps, and I'm going to do another video as an addendum to this part 3 That's going to show a more precise way to measure the distance between these center lines here of the stairs. And that'll be fun. You'll probably enjoy that. And what's going to be good about that is it brings in a math component. Anyway, you guys all take care. Hope you're enjoying these.